Hi all. So in continuation with the previous class, that is 7.1 provision relating to audit under the Companies Act. So under that 7.1 is auditor's qualification, disqualification, appointment, remuneration, removal, powers and duties. That is what we are discussing presently. So in previous class we covered part 1. So I am using the material, revised material issued by the institute. Actually it is available at the institute website. It's an supplementary paper 12 June 2020. So they have given the revised version for study note 7. Actually total material they have given the revised version, which is available in the institute website. So I am using that material, study note 7 actually. So the point is previous class up to previous class we completed the up to page number 10. Up to page number 10 we have completed. I'm going to the page number 10 now. So in page number 10, last para in page number 10, that is eligibility, disqualification and eligibility, qualification and disqualification of auditor. That is under section 141. That is under section 141. So we are going to continue with that topic. Okay. So audit under Companies Act. Audit under Companies Act under section 139. Audit under Companies Act under section 139 is basically audit of companies. Okay, that is done by whom? Normally practicing chartered accountant. Audit means statutory audit. That audit is conducted by only practicing chartered accountant. So the eligibility, qualification and disqualification, in the sense the purpose of this provision is who can do audit for companies. What is their qualification, what will be their eligibility, and when they will disqualify, what is the disqualification. That is what we are going to understand from this topic. Okay, so eligibility, qualification and disqualification of auditors, section 141. Okay, so in that I am going to read the first point. A person shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company only if he is a chartered accountant. Not only chartered accountant, practicing chartered accountant. Sit. Not only qualified chartered accountant. He or she should be a practicing chartered accountant. Then only they are eligible to conduct the audit as per a section 139. Okay. So I am going to the page number 11 now. Page number 11, continuation. Provided that a firm whereof a majority of partners practicing in India are qualified for appointment as a oversight may be appointed by its firm to be an auditor of a company. So practicing chartered accountant only eligible for conducting an statutory audit, correct? So if it is a sole proprietor, then there will be only one auditor, individual or sole proprietor. Then you can appoint that auditor as auditor for the company. Okay, but in case of partnership, we have to appoint the partnership firm as an auditor for our company. But in that partnership firm, we have to give that that assignment, or that statutory assignment will be given to any one particular partner. Okay, partnership name they will give the audit appointment, but the partner inside the partnership, who is the partner in that partnership, can do the audit. Any one of the partner has to sign the report. Okay, all those things will be mentioned in the appointment itself. So the next thing is second point. I am going to read the second point in the page number 11. That is, where a firm including a LLP is appointed as an auditor of a company, only the partners who are a chartered accountant shall be authorized to act and sign on behalf of the firm. So partnership firm, LLP. Partnership firm is a partner. It's registered under the Partnership Act. LLP means Limited Liability Partnership. It's registered under the LLP Act. Okay. So both are similar to partnership. Both are basically a partnership, but LLP is a revised one. You have a lot of flexibility given under the LLP actually. So the point is, LLP or partnership, CA can start LLP as well as general partnership also. In both partners only will be the auditors, practicing chartered accountant. You can appoint as an auditor. That is what they are saying. Point number 3. Point number 3 is the following person shall not be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company. The following person shall not be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company. So there are this person is not eligible for appointment as an auditor. What are the person? A body corporate other than a LLP registered under the LLP Act 2008. Body corporate other than a LLP. Body corporate means what? Companies. Normally companies or majorly you can take an example of company actually. So the point is auditor can do practice individually, sole proprietorship, partnership, LLP. Auditor cannot start a company for practicing purpose. Auditor does not have right to start a company for practicing attestation work. Auditor is not eligible to start a company and do the service. They can form as an individual or a partner or a proprietorship or partnership. That is the only available mode available for them actually. So the point is, if I am a company, if I am a private limited company, this private limited can be appointed as an auditor for a company? No, it is not possible because Act prevents that. Then what is the next point? I am reading the point number 3. Under that point number B I am reading. Okay, an officer or employee of the company. I am an employee of one company. I am a chartered accountant, but I am not practicing. I am working in some company. Whether I am eligible to conduct an audit? Not eligible. Only practicing person is eligible. Not an officer or employee of the company is not eligible to appoint as an auditor. Okay, he or she should be a full-time practicing chartered accountant. Okay. Point number C. The person who is a partner or who is in the employment or an officer or employee of the company, same thing. A partner is one chartered accountant is doing is working as a partner and as well as he is an employee in some other company. We can't appoint that person. Means part-time partnership. It is called part-time partnership. So full-time partnership only eligible. Point number D. A person who or is relative or a partner is holding any security or interest in the company or is the subsidiary or holding or associate or subsidiary of such holding company. So I am an auditor. I am going to appointed in one company. In that company, my relative is already having some interest. They are shareholders in that company. Means then I will not eligible to appoint as an auditor for that company because my relatives can influence me to change the report or to manipulate the report. So my relatives and I should not have any interest in that company. Means financial interest in that company. Okay, in that company or subsidiary company or holding company or associate company, indirectly or directly, if I am having any interest, then I cannot be an auditor for that company. That's what they are saying. Provided that the relative may hold security or interest in the company face value not exceeding 1000 rupees or such a sum as prescribed in Rule 10. So in Rule 10 they have given the thing actually. Not it is 1000 rupees actually. It is 1 lakh rupees. Not exceeding 1 lakh rupees. So rule number 10 I am reading. So if my relative is having share value of provided for the purpose of a relative of an auditor may hold security in the company of face value not exceeding rupees 1 lakh. So the point is, if I am having an shares or interest more than 1 lakh in that company, I am or my relative is having in that company, means then I can't be an auditor for that company. Okay, so up to 1 lakh it is permitted. If my relative or myself is having more than 1 lakh, then I can't be appointed as an auditor. Security, shares, stakeholders. Okay, that's what they said. Holding shares in the company of face value not exceeding rupees 1 lakh. Second point, in Rule 10 I am going to read the next second para. Provided that the condition under the sub rule shall wherever relevant be also applicable in the case of company not having share capital or other securities. Provided that in the event of acquiring any security or interest by a relative above the threshold prescribed, the corrective action to maintain the limit as specified above shall be taken by the auditor within 60 days of acquisition or interest. Thing is, auditor is appointed. After that, that relative is having more than 1 lakh. While appointing the auditor, that relative, auditor's relative does not have any security interest shares. But auditors appointed thereafter, that auditor relative is purchasing some shares. They are having more than 1 lakh value worth of shares means, then auditor is given 60 days time. Within 60 days that mistake should be corrected. Within 60 days that mistake should be corrected, meaning they have to reduce the share value for less than 1 lakh. The relative has to reduce the share value for less than 1 lakh. That's what they said there. Okay. Point number 2, rule 10. I am going to read the point number 2. For the purpose of subclass 2 of class D of subsection 3 of section 141, a person who are relative or a partner is indebted to a company or subsidiary of holding of an associate or subsidiary of such holding company in excess of rupees 5 lakh shall not be eligible for appointment. One is security, one is share, having shares in that company for more than 1 lakh, ineligible. Another thing is auditor or the relative is having more than 5 lakh indebted, means they borrowed from that company and they are liable to pay to that company for more than 5 lakh rupees then auditor we can't appoint, is ineligible to appoint as an auditor. Okay, I am going to read the continuation after the point number 4. I am going to read. For the purpose of class E of subsection 3 of section 141, the term business relation shall be considered as any transaction entered in the commercial process except commercial transactions which are in the nature of professional service permitted to be rendered by an auditor or under audit firm under charter and the rules or regulation made under those act. Commercial which are ordinary course of business at arm's length price. Thing is, what they are saying, commercial transaction, that auditor should not do any commercial transaction, that auditor should not do any business, the auditor should not have any business relationship with that client actually, meaning auditor actually as auditor is having one manufacturing company. Auditor is having one manufacturing company. He is a shareholder in that manufacturing company, or else he is the promoter of that manufacturing company. From that manufacturing company, they are supplying raw material to this company. You got it or not? Auditor is auditor in one company. That auditor company is purchasing raw material from one company where the auditor is interested, financially interested. Then there is a business relationship. Then I can't appoint auditor as an auditor this person, because this auditor is having financial interest in that company who is supplier for this company. Okay, auditor's company. The point is that is business relationship. Okay, but auditor can have some other business relationship related to his profession. For example, statutory auditor, appointing as a statutory auditor one auditor. He can do other services also, like tax audit he can provide, income tax consulting he can provide, tax audit services he can provide, because that is other services related to profession. That service I can get from him, but I can't get some other business relationship from them. Okay, that's what they said. Second point number 4, the second point I am going to read. Roman letter 2 under the point number 4. Commercial transaction which are in the ordinary course of business of the company at arm's length price, like sale of products or services to the auditor or customer in the ordinary course of business by companies engaged in the business of telecommunication, airlines, hospital, hotel and such other similar business. The point is, for example, auditor is auditing on telecommunication company, any telecommunication company. For example, he is auditing an Airtel company. Auditor is using Airtel SIM also. So indirectly or directly, auditor is customer for that company. He is having some business relationship. That is general business relationship. That is ordinary course of business. Okay, that is ordinary course of business. That type of relationship we can have it. As a customer, auditor is a customer in that company because he is using SIM card, but he is our auditor. Whether any violation of business relationship criteria, no violation. It's an ordinary course of business at the arm's length price. What is SIM card value? 200 rupees. ASIM 200 rupees. Everybody is purchasing 200 rupees. Auditor is also purchasing at 200 rupees only. Then that is arm's length price. Okay. Auditor is purchasing for 50 rupees. For others 200. For auditor means it is 50 rupees. Then it is not an arm's length price. Okay. Then he is ineligible. Whatever other space he is also paying, then no problem. Okay. I am going to the page number 12. Page number 12 is indebted company, or it's page number 12. So page number 12, first point, Roman number letter 2, is indebted to the company or subsidiary holding company or subsidiary of holding in excess of such amount as prescribed in the rule of chapter 10, that's what, 5 lakh. If it is more than 5 lakh, then he is not eligible. Okay. Point number 3, has given a guarantee or provided any security in connection with the indebted or any third person to the company or its subsidiary or holding associated company or subsidiary of its company for such amount as prescribed under the rule number 10 of chapter 10 under the act. Okay. Not only borrowing, sometimes auditor will give guarantee, has given a guarantee or provided any security in connection with the indebtedness of any third party to the company. Say for example, somebody is borrowed from that company where the auditor is going to be appointed. Okay, somebody is borrowed money from that company. For on behalf of that borrower, auditor is given the guarantee to the company. In case that borrower fails to pay, I will give guarantee to you, I will pay. That is third party. Third party is received money from the company. On behalf of the third party, auditor is giving some guarantee to the company. Then they are ineligible. Auditor is ineligible for appointment. That guarantee amount is also 5 lakh. Indebtedness is 5 lakh. Hence, that might be also 5 lakh. So next point I am going to read. Point number E. A person or a firm, whether directly or indirectly, has business relationship with the company or subsidiary or holding or associate or subsidiary of holding company or associate company of such nature as specified in this, so as whatever we discussed already. Business relationship, I said no. Auditor should not be a supplier, auditor should not be vendor for that company, then there is a business relationship. Hence, I can't appoint that person as an auditor for my company. Point number F. A person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company or a director of a key management personnel. Thing is, auditor's relative is director in that company. The company whose the auditor is going to be appointed as an auditor, in that company, director itself, in that company, the director is a relative to this auditor. Okay. Or KMP, CFO, Chief Financial Officer of that company is an auditor's relative. Then auditor is ineligible for appointment. Okay, that's what they said. Point number G. A person who is in full-time employment elsewhere or partner of firm holding appointment of, if such person or partner is that if such person or partner is at the date of such appointment or reappointment holding appointment as auditor of more than 20 companies. Thing is, one is full-time employment. As I said, employment person cannot be appointed as an auditor. Only practicing full-time practicing chartered can only appointed as an auditor. Correct? So, and also one more thing is, if such a person or partners is at the date of such appointment or reappointment holding appointment as an auditor of more than 20 companies. So the thing is, one is full-time employment, another one is auditor. We can't appoint this auditor as an auditor for more than 20 companies at a time. Okay. If such person as on the date of an auditor of more than 20 companies. Yes. So auditors maximum appointment of auditor is 20 companies. For that also there is an provision we will discuss. Not all the companies is covered. We will discuss that also. Point number H. A person who has been convinced by a court of an offence involving fraud and a period of 10 years has not allowed from the date of such conviction. Point number H is basically auditor is involved in some fraud and court is announced auditor is convicted by the court as he has done some fraud. Then for 10 years from the date of conviction, he can't be appointed in any company as an auditor. Okay. So 10 years cooling period or waiting period, he can't be appointed as an auditor for any company if he is convicted as a fraud. And point number I. A person who directly or indirectly renders any services referred in section 144 to the company or its holding company or subsidiary company. So as per section 144, if auditor is doing this services, we will understand what is section 144. It is there in the coming pages. So if this services is provided already by the auditor for this company, means then auditor cannot provide statutory audit services to this company. Okay. So the thing is, section 144 says, so section 144 services which already providing, then he can't eligible for appointment as an auditor. Okay. So explanation we will understand what is the next para. Next para is where a person appointed as an auditor of a company incurs any of the disqualification mentioned in subsection 3 of his appointment, he shall vacate his office as such auditor, and such vacation shall be deemed to be casual vacancy in the office of the auditor. So if auditor is disqualified due to the above situations after the appointment, then he has to vacate his office immediately. Then that vacation is treated as casual vacancy. We studied in previous class, no, casual vacancy in case of death or any other reasons. That any other reason is this disqualifications. So remuneration of auditor. Next thing is remuneration of auditor under section 142. Okay. So just till now we discussed about eligibility, qualification and disqualification of auditor. When he is eligible? Only practicing chartered accountant. Qualification is a practicing chartered accountant. Disqualification we discussed all the points. Okay. So now remuneration of auditor. Remuneration means the amount fees we are going to pay for the audit service. That is remuneration. That is under section 142. You please remember all these sections also. Okay. They will test 1 mark from these sections also. Please remember. So the remuneration of the auditor of a company shall be fixed in its general meeting or in such manner as may be determined. The remuneration of the auditor of a company shall be fixed in its general meeting or in such manner as may be prescribed therein, provided that the board may fix remuneration of the first auditor appointed by it. So normally the remuneration is recommended by the board and it is fixed in the general meeting. That is the general procedure. But in case of first auditor, we discussed in our previous class, first auditor is appointed by board itself, and the board itself will fix the remuneration for the first auditor. But in other cases, in a subsequent auditor, the board will recommend the audit fees and it is fixed in the AGM or general meeting normally. Okay. Point number 2 I am going to read. Remuneration under section 1. In addition to the fees payable, an auditor include for the expenses, if any, incurred by the auditor in connection with the audit of the company and any facility extended to him, but does not include any remuneration paid to him for any other services rendered by him at the request of the company. So in addition to the fees payable to an auditor, include the expense, if any, incurred by the auditor in connection with the audit of the company and any facility extended to him, but does not include any remuneration paid to him for any other service rendered by him at the request of the company. What they are trying to say, for example, audit fees 10 lakh rupees. Audit fees is 10 lakh rupees is paid to auditor. So during the visit by the auditor to the company, okay, auditor is visiting the company. During this visit or during this process, he would have incurred some expenditure, transportation expenditure, food expenses, or hotel, boarding, lodging expenses. That is related to the statutory audit. Okay, they would have incurred some additional expenditure. That expenses also we can pay the auditor. That's what they are trying to say. But we should not pay any other fees apart from statutory audit fees. Normally, section 144 I said no. If he is providing all the services, then he is not eligible for audit. Then we should not pay any fees, and he is not eligible for appointment also. So the point is, auditor fees remuneration. Related to auditor fees is, during the course of audit, he would have visited the company many times. During such case, he would have incurred some expenditure. That expenses is reimbursable. That's what they are saying. Next point, page number 13. Page number 13 is powers and duties of auditors. Section 143. What is this powers and duties of auditors? Powers and duties of auditors. What power is auditor is having actually? Generally, you have to think, as an auditor, what is our job? We have to audit. We have to give opinion on the financial statement. Then what is power we have actually? What is our job actually? We have to do audit. Audit means what is required. Books of accounts is required. Documents is required. Record is required. Explanation from the management is required. Response from the management is required. Power means what? Then what power auditor is having? He is having power to audit the books. He is having power to ask the documentation. He is having power to ask the books of accounts. He is having powers to visit the office, corporate office of the company for doing audit. Correct? That is the power actually, not any other power. So that is the power of auditor. We will go through what here it is mentioned. The first point I am going to read. Every auditor of a company shall have a right of access at all times to the books of account and vouchers of the company, whether kept at the registered office of the company or any other place, and shall be entitled to require from the officers of the company such information and expenses as he may consider necessary for the performance of his duties as auditor, and among other matters inquire into the following matters, namely. So auditor is, as I said, auditor is having power to audit the books of accounts. He can ask all the books of accounts from the company, okay, kept under the corporate registered office or any other place, okay, that is the thing. And other powers, namely, I am going to read point number 1. Under the point number 1, point number A I am going to read now. Whether loans and advances made by the company on the basis of security have been properly secured, and whether the payments of which have been made are prejudicial to the interest of the company or its member. The first point is, this company is given, whether this company is given loans to anyone or not. That is the question. If this company is giving loan and advances to anybody, whether this company is giving that loan after obtaining proper security from the borrower or not. That as an auditor I have to check. I have to check whether this company is diverted the money as a loan from this company or not. Diverted the money as an advances and loans to third party or not. I have to check if they have paid the loan, if they lended the loan or advances to anybody, then I have to check whether this advances is properly secured by this company or not. Security is obtained from the borrower or not. As an auditor I have to check. That is my power. Second point number B. Whether transaction of the company which are represented merely book entry or prejudicial to the interest of the company. Thing is, whether this books of accounts is original books of accounts, genuine books of accounts, or it is any fake entries, manipulated entries, window dressing entries booked inside the books of accounts or not. All the entries are genuine, or any only for inflating the books of accounts any entries are booked. That I have to check as an auditor. Point number C. Whether the company not being an investment company or a bank company, whether so much of the assets of the company are consist of shares, depends on the security have been sold at a price less than what they have purchased by the company. My company business is not share trading. My company business is not investment banking. My company's business is not related to finance company. I am doing general business. Then my objective is I have to spend money for my business purpose. Some companies, they will collect money and they will do trading in the stock market. They will invest in the shares heavily. In such a case, I have to check as an auditor, what is the price you purchased. For example, 100 rupees you purchased. What is the present price? If it is present price is 50 rupees only, you purchased it for 100 rupees, but the present price is 50 rupees. As an auditor, I have to question why you purchased 100 rupees, but now the market price is 50 rupees only, because your business is not investment business. You are not doing finance business. Why there is a wrong decision in a company? As auditor, I can question. Point number D. Whether loans and advances made by the company have been shown as a deposit. Loans and advances is different from deposits. Loans and advances is different from deposits. Fine. Loans and advances is given to the borrower. Deposit is given for some other purpose. For example, rental deposit, or else if you are electricity department, we have to give some deposit, or else for vendors, or else for getting the contract, we have to give some deposit, security deposit. All this deposit is different from loans and advances. They should not wrongly show that loans and advances as a deposit. Both are different. Both are assets, but both are different. Okay. So point number E. Whether personal expenses have been charged to revenue account. Any personal director personal expenditure is booked as a revenue expenditure or not. That also I have to check. Any employees or anybody personal expenditure is booked in the company's account or not. That I have to check as an auditor. If anything is wrongly booked, then I have to report. Point number F. Whether it is stated in the books of accounts of the company that any shares have been allotted for cash, whether cash actually be received in the respect of such allotment and no cash actually be so received, whether the position as stated in the account books and balance sheet is correct. The point is, issue of shares. Some company will issue shares. If they issued shares and received the money in cash, not in bank, means whether it is properly accounted in the books of account or not. That I have to check. Okay. Next thing is, I am going to read the next para. Provided that the auditor of a company, which is a holding company, shall also have the right of access to the records of all the subsidiary and associated company insofar as related to the consolidation of final accounts, financial statement with that subsidiary and associate company. This holding company auditor is also eligible to do audit for the subsidiary companies books also. They can ask the books of accounts from the subsidiary companies. Holding company, normally 51%. If one company is having another company, both company becomes holding and subsidiary companies. Okay. So the point is this holding company audit is eligible to get the books of accounts from the subsidiary companies also. Then point number 2, the auditor shall make a report to the members of the company on the accounts examined by him and every financial statement which are required by or under this act to be laid before the company in general meeting, and report shall, after taking into account, the auditor shall make a report to the members of the company. This is one of the power or duties of the auditor. The auditor shall make a report to the members of the company on the accounts examined by him on every financial statement which are required by or under this act to be laid before the company general meeting, and report shall, after taking into account the provision of the act, the accounting and accounting standard matters which are required to be included in the audit report under the provision of the act, or any rules made thereunder or under any order made under subsection 11, and to the best of his information. What they are trying to say? First, auditing books of accounts, that is power of the auditor. The next step, he audited the accounts. What is the next step? He is having right to report to the members at the annual general meeting. After doing the above steps and also complying the accounting standard and also complying the auditing standard and also complying the rules and regulation, he can share the report to the members at the general meeting, and he can give the opinion whether the true and fair view is there on the financial statement or not. That is also powers and duties of the auditor. Then the next topic is what is the rule number? So the next thing is Rule 13. Rule 13, reporting of frauds by auditors and other matters. This is also a little bit new provision under the Companies Act 2013. Old provision, in old Companies Act, such type of provision is not available. Here they have given some specific guidelines regarding reporting of frauds by the company. Reporting of frauds done by the company, and it should be reported by auditor to the managing director and the central government also. Okay. So the point is, under that first point, if an auditor of a company in the course of the performance of his duties as a statutory has reason to believe that an offence of a fraud which involves or is expected to involve individually an amount of rupees of 1 crore or above is being or has been committed against the company by its officers or employee, the auditor shall report the matters to the central government. What they are trying to say, if auditor is identified the fraud worth of more than 1 crore means, then he is liable to report to the central government. How he has to report to the central government, that we will understand now. The auditor shall report the matter to the central government as under. So under that first point, I am going to read the next page number 17, first point A. The auditor shall report the matter to the board or audit committee as the case may be immediately but not later than 2 days of his knowledge of the fraud, seeking their reply or observation within 45 days. Thing is, once auditor is identify the fraud, after identification of fraud, within 2 days he has to report that information to MD, board of directors or audit committee within 2 days. Okay. And after receiving the report from the auditor, fraud report from the auditor, this board of director or audit committee has to reply to that report within 45 days. Okay, to the auditor first. So that is what point number B. On receipt of such reply or observation, the auditor shall forward his report. First thing is, auditor after identification of fraud within 2 days, they have to report to the central government. They have to report to the board of director or audit committee and audit. So point number B, on receipt of such reply or observation, the auditor shall forward his report and the reply or observation of the board or the audit committee along with his command to the central government within 15 days. So point number B is, On receipt of such reply or observation, the auditor shall forward his report and the reply or observation of the board or the audit committee along with his comments to the central government within 15 days from the date of receipt of such reply or observation. First 2 days, after identification of 2 days, he has to send to the report to the board of directors and audit committee. Then they have to reply for 45 days to the auditor. After receipt of that reply from the board of directors, auditor has to report to the central government. Auditor has to report to the forward to the report or response received from the board or audit committee that they have to, auditor has to forward that response to the central government within 15 days from the date of receipt of such a reply. Okay. Point number C. In case the auditor fails to get any reply or observation from the board or audit committee within the stipulated period of 45 days, he shall forward his report to the central government along with a note containing details of his report that was earlier forwarded to the board or audit committee for which he has not received any reply or observation. First thing is, after 2 days, auditor has to send to his command to his report audit identification of fraud to the board of director or audit committee, but he is not received any response from the management or board of directors or audit committee within 45 days. Then what is the job of auditor? What is the job of auditor? He has to wait for 45 days, then he has to send directly to the central government. If he is not getting any response from the board of directors, then he has to send directly response to the central government itself, that I am not received any response from the central government. He has to report to the central government directly, that he has to mention he is not received any response from the board of director or audit committee. Okay. So point number D, the report shall be sent to the secretary, MC, Minister of Corporate Affairs, sealed cover by registered post with acknowledgement or speed post followed by an email in confirmation of the same. How he has to send auditor? Speed post or and also email also he has to send registered post or speed post he has to send, along with mail also he has to send. Point number E, the report shall be on the letterhead of the auditor. Auditor letterhead, firm letterhead or practicing charter letterhead, in that only they have to send. Okay. Point number F, the report shall be in the form of statement as specified in the form ADT4. ADT4 is the format for fraud reporting. ADT4 is for the format for fraud reporting. You please remember for 1 mark purpose. Point number 3, in case of fraud involving lesser than the amount specified in the above rule, the auditor shall report the matter to audit committee constituted under section 179 of the board immediately but not later than 2 days of his knowledge of fraud, and he shall report the matter specifying the following thing. If it is less than 1 crore, fraud is less than 1 crore means what is the thing he has to do? That fraud he has to report only to the board of directors or audit committee only. Okay. What are the content of the audit report? What are the content of the fraud audit report? Fraud report. Nature of fraud. Point number A, nature of what type of fraud, approximate amount involved, parties involved, who is involved in the fraud, everything I have to mention. Point number 4 I am going to read. The following details of each of the fraud report to the audit committee or board under subsection sub rule 3 during the year shall be disclosed in the board's report. In board report, board of director report, this fraud details they have to report actually. Nature of fraud, approximate amount involved, remedial action taken, all those things. Okay. Point number 5 I am going to read. The provision of this rule shall also apply mutatis mutandis. What is mutatis mutandis? As it is. Okay. As it is applicable to cost auditor and secretarial auditor also. We will understand later what is cost auditor, secretarial auditor. Okay. But this provision is also, this fraud provision is also applicable to cost auditor and secretarial auditor also. Point number 13. No duty to which an auditor of a company may be subject to shall be regarded as being contravened by reason of his reporting the matter referred to subsection 12 if it is done in good faith. No duty to which an auditor of a company may be subject to shall be regarded as having been contravened by reason of his reporting the matter reported in the if it is done in good faith. So what they are trying to say. So the point is he has done this fraud reporting in a good faith only. That's what they are saying. Point number 14. The provision of this section and shall mutatis mutandis apply to cost accounting practice, company secretary in practice also. That we will discuss. Cost audit, secretary audit, both it is applicable. Fraud reporting is applicable to all the auditors, not only chartered accountant, not only statutory audit. It is applicable to cost auditor for cost audit purpose, secretarial auditor for secretarial audit purpose. Okay. Point number 15, next page number 18. If any auditor cost account company in practice do not comply with the provision of section 12, he shall be punishable with a fine not less than 1 lakh rupees but may extend to 25 lakh rupees. If auditor is not identified and if his auditor is not reported the fraud to the central government, then he has to pay penalty up to 25 lakhs, 1 lakh to up to 25 lakhs penalty. Not only chartered accountant, cost auditor, secretarial auditor. Secretary means company secretary, practicing company secretary. Next headline I am going to read. Other matters to be included in auditor's report. The auditor's report shall also include their views and comments on the following matters, namely, apart from above points, that is powers and duties of auditors and also fraud reporting, these points also auditor has to report. What are the points we will understand? The auditor report shall also include their views and comments on the following matters, namely, whether the company has disclosed the impact of any pending litigation on the financial position on its financial statement. The thing is, any case against the company pending, excise duty case, GST case, income tax case, PF case, any other case pending with the company, that is properly disclosed or not. That as an auditor I have to check whether the company has made a provision properly by complying accounting standard rules and regulation, or whether they made a provision for expenses, provision for losses and expenditure properly or not. That as an auditor I have to check. Next point, whether there has been any delay in transferring amount required to be maintained to the investor IEPF, Investor Education Protection Fund or not. IEPF account, we will understand later what is IEPF account. If anything is pending to that account, if anything is transferable to that account, that should be transferred properly as per IEPF Act. We will understand later what is IEPF account. What is the next one? Report of the audit shall also state about existence of adequate internal financial control system and operating effectiveness. And also auditor also point out the internal control system in the company. Okay, internal control we discussed in previous classes, that if any weakness in internal control, that also auditor has to point out. Then duties and powers of the company's auditor with reference to the audit of branch under the branch auditor. So for the purpose of subsection section 140, the duties and powers of company's auditor with reference to audit of branch and audit of any shall be same power, whatever the power they are having as a statutory auditor, they are also having the same power for branch auditor also. We will understand later what is branch audit, what is joint audit, all those audit. Branch audit is normally if the company is a large in nature. For example, some company will be having branches in abroad also. Other than outside India, they will have branch. In such case, due to difficultiness, this Indian auditor cannot be appointed as an auditor for abroad companies, subsidiary companies, or else branches located in abroad. What they will do, Indian company, they will appoint a local auditor. For example, if one branch is there in Dubai, they will appoint one person in Dubai as an auditor for that branch. So as a main auditor is in India, this main auditor can can having all the powers and duties for that branch audit also. He can ask all the questions from that branch auditor and he can incorporate that points financial statement in the report also. Okay. Report, next heading is reporting of frauds by auditor. Reporting of frauds by auditor. That's what we discussed already. I think the same point is discussed again. Okay. Same thing repeated again. So I am going to the page number. What is the page number? Page number 19. Please come to the page number 19. Auditor not to render certain services. That's what we discussed in previous topic. So section 144. If I am a statutory auditor, if I am a financial auditor for this company, then I am not eligible to do these services. If I am doing this section 144 services, then I am not eligible to appointed as an auditor in that company. What are those services? I will directly go to the services. Okay. What are the services? Accounting and bookkeeping services. If I am doing accounting and booking services, then I can't be appointed in the same company as an auditor. Next thing is internal auditor. If I appointed as an internal audit, then I cannot do statutory audit. if I'm doing next point is design and implementation of financial information. If I'm designing and preparing the system for that company, I'm implementing the system for that company, then I cannot be appointed as an statutory auditor. Then actuarial services, we discussed in our classroom discussion, actual services for valuing insurance premium amount, amount, or else long-term employee benefit, AS 15, we discussed in classroom discussion. During that case, I said what is actual services. If I am providing actual services, then I can't appoint as an auditor for the same company. Investment advisory services, investment banking services, like that they have given services. You please remember this. Section 144 for examination purpose. You can expect short notes or 1 mark also. True or false they will ask sometimes normally. So very important for examination. I am going to read the next para. Provided that an auditor or audit firm who or which has been performing any non-audit service on or before the commencement of the shall comply with the provision of this section before the closure of the first financial year after the date of such commencement. So Companies Act 2013, before that I think this provision is not available. So the thing is, if up to 2012, if audit is doing all these services and they are appointed as a statutory auditor, means they have given cooling period of 1 year. You have to comply the Companies Act 2013 within one financial. That means Companies Act 2013 is implemented on 2013. Then up to 2014, he has given time to rectify the mistake. He has to surrender all those other services. If he is going to appoint as an auditor for that company, he should not do any other services. For that they have given 1 year time. That is 2013 it is implemented, means up to 1 year. First financial year after the date of such commencement. Okay. So the next thing is explanation directly or indirectly rendering services. Next page I am going to read, page number 10. In case of audit being an individual, either himself or through his relative or any other person connected or associated with such individual, or through an agent whosoever in which such individual is significant influence or control, or whose name or trademark or brand is used by such individual. So again it is related to related party transaction. If I am having any my relative is having some providing these services with meaning I am not directly providing the service to that company, but my relative, in the brand name of my relative, the service is provided to the company, then also I am not eligible as an auditor. That's what they are saying. I am not providing directly, but my relative providing these services to this company, means then I can't be appointed as an auditor. That's what they are saying. Okay. Auditor to sign audit report, that is also one of the duty of auditor. So as I said, reporting to the management, reporting to the shareholder, opinion on the financial statement, that is the job of auditor. True and fair view on the financial statement, that is the job of auditor. After the audit report, he has to sign date, name, practicing chartered accountant, membership number, firm name, everything he has to write in the report. That's what they are saying. Auditor has to sign the audit report. That is also duty. Auditors to attend general meeting. Of course, if there is any general meeting, you can't prevent the auditor. You should not attend. I should not say auditor, you should not come to, company should not say to the auditor that you should not come to the meeting. It's a duty and rights of the auditor. They can visit, they can attend the annual general meeting or any other general meeting. Okay. If auditor is not able to attend, then he can assign his representative also, who is a qualified person. If main auditor is not able to attend, then he can appoint the representative also. That's what mentioned there, authorized representative, who is also to be a qualified auditor. Okay, you please go through yourself. Section 145 Section 145 deals with the auditor to sign audit report. Section 146 deals with the auditors to attend general meeting. Okay. Then section 147, that is punishment for contravention. If any of the provision of section 139 to 146 is contravened, the company shall be punishable with a fine which shall not be less than 25,000, but which may be extended to 5 lakh rupees. And every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, with a fine which shall not be less than 10,000 rupees, but which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. The thing is, fine for company and employees of the company. If section 139 to 146 company and the employee is violating, not auditor. Companies and the employees violating the section 139 to 146 means on the company name, company has to pay 25,000 rupees up to 5 lakh rupees, and the officers, the employee of the company separately, they have to they are also sent to jail also for 1 year, up to 1 year, or fine which is 10,000 to 1 lakh rupees. Point number 2, if auditor of a company contravenes any provision section 139, section 143, 144, 145, the auditor shall be punishable with a fine which is not less than 25,000 rupees, which may extend to 5 lakh rupees or 4 times of the remuneration of auditor, whichever is less. Okay, what they are trying to say, if auditor is violated the section 139, 143, 144, 145 means he has to pay fine 25,000 to 5 lakh rupees, or fees what is received, actually 4 times of the fees he is received. For example, he is received fees of 10,000 rupees. What is 4 times? 10,000 into 4, 40,000. Then maximum penalty is 40,000 only. Punishment for contravention. I am reading continuation. Provided that if an auditor has contravened such provision knowingly or willfully with the intention to deceive the company or shareholder or creditor or taxer, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, and which fine which shall not be less than 50,000 rupees, which may extend to 25 lakh rupees or 8 times of the remuneration of the auditor. If he is willfully has done this thing intentionally by doing some fraud, because he is trying to do some fraud, okay, knowingly or willfully, that's what they say, with the intention of deceive the company, to fake the company as shareholders, then he is liable to the penalty. He is liable for jail also, 1 year jail, and it is to 1 year, and actually it is not, or and also fine of 50,000 rupees, which may extend to 25 lakh rupees, or 8 times of remuneration what he received, whichever is less. Okay, here the speciality is and, actually it is not or, with 1 year, up to 1 year jail, okay, for auditors. Next page number 21. Where an auditor is convicted under subsection 2, he shall be liable to refund the remuneration received by the company and pay for damage to statutory bodies, authorities, to members and creditors of the company, loss arising out of incorrect, misleading statement of particular made in his audit report. So if he is liable for the above thing he violated means, then whatever the fees he received he has to refund, and any damages or losses because of his report to the shareholders, then he has to pay that losses also. Very severe provision actually. Section 4, next point. I'm reading the page number now 21. On that page number 21, point number 4 I am going to read. The central government shall by notification specify and statutory body, authority, or an officer ensuring prompt payment of damages to the company or other person under section clause 3 of subsection 3 of such body, authority shall, after payment of damage to such company, a person file a report with the central government in respect of making such damage in such manner as may be prescribed in said notification. The point is, if the company is violated, the central government will give direction to the government officers, and they will check whether they made the damages, prompt payment of damages to the company or persons under the subsection 3. Thing is, whether the damages is properly settled to company as well as whoever the victim got damaged because of false audit report. The central government will monitor whether they have settled the amount properly or not, auditor settled the amount properly or not. Okay. Point number 5. What is that point number 5? Where in case of audit of a company being conducted by an audit firm, if it is proved that the partner or partners of the audit firm are acted in a fraudulent manner, abated or colluded in any fraud in relation to the company or director, the liability, whether civil or claim as provided in the act in either law for the time being imposed, shall be of the partner or partner as concerned of the audit firm and of the firm, and jointly and severally. What they are saying to say, if single auditor, then he is separately, individually liable. If it is a partnership firm, then together partners severely and jointly liable for this mistake, violation. That's what they are saying. Okay. Provide that in case of criminal liability of an audit firm in respect of liability other than fine, the concerned partners who acted in a fraudulent matter as the game is colluded in the any fraud shall only liable. If it is criminal liability, then only that particular partner who did that fraud is only liable. Okay, criminal activity, criminal liability, not civil liability. Criminal liability means that only that particular auditor only liable. That's what they are saying. Okay. Next thing is Audit Committee section 177. In previous class we discussed Audit Committee under section 177. What is that Audit Committee? This is not applicable to all the companies. This is applicable to certain companies. Audit Committee rules, responsibility, for whom it is applicable, all the things we will discuss now. I am going to read section 177. That also you please remember. All the section you remember. Okay. So what is the first thing? Constitution of an audit committee is mandatory for the every listed company and such director or class of company as may be prescribed. All the listed company audit committee is mandatory. Another thing is such class of company. What is that such class of company? You will understand. All public limited companies having paid up share capital of 10 crore or more. All public companies having turnover of 100 crore or more. All public company having outstanding loan, borrowing and deposit exceeding 50 crore or more. So one is listed companies and another thing is public company. This is not applicable to private company. Audit committee is applicable only to public company, listed companies. Listed public company, unlisted public company having paid up capital of 10 crore or more, or having turnover of 100 crore or more, or having loans and debentures of 50 crore or more. If they are having this much, then audit committee they have to definitely form in their company. They have to form the audit committee in their company, definitely. An audit committee shall have a minimum 3 directors. Majority of them should be independent directors. Majority of the member of the audit committee should be able to read and understand the financial statement. So audit committee is formed with the help of 3 directors. Okay, all the 3 directors, minimum 3 directors, and majority of them should be independent directors. So minimum 3 directors is required. On that majority should be independent director means what? Out of 3, 2 independent directors is required. Minimum 3 directors required. On that 3, 2 independent directors they have to appoint. Independent director, what is the meaning? Independent directors, they don't involve on day-to-day basis activity in the company. They don't take day-to-day decision, management decision in the company. They will participate in the meeting and they will pass the voting on the resolution passed by the board of meeting. That is their job actually. They don't have a direct influence or a direct relation with the company. They don't involve in the day-to-day operating of the business. That is the meaning of independent director. So out of 3 directors, 2 is minimum independent director. That is majority. But the minimum directors is 3 is required for audit committee. Functions of audit, roles and responsibility. Functions of audit committee. Various functions of audit committee enumerated below. Recommend the appoint and fixation of remuneration of auditor. So this audit committee will take care about the appointment of auditor and fixation of remuneration of auditor. Next page number 22. Review and monitor the auditor's independence and performance and effectiveness of audit process. So auditors independent, whether auditor is having freedom or whether auditor is influenced by anybody, whether his auditors are getting the information or not, that points are discussed in the audit committee. Okay. And point number 3, bullet point number 3, examination of financial statement or auditor report. So whatever the auditor preparing financial statement or audit report, it should be examined by the audit committee. Next bullet point, scrutiny of intercorporate loan and investment. If any advances given between the intercorporate companies, then that is scrutinized by this audit committee. Valuation of assets. If valuation of assets, how fixed asset is valued, how current asset is valued, how stock is valued. All these things are monitored by the audit committee. Like this, you please go through yourself. Come to the powers of the audit committee. So audit committee has the power to call for comments of the auditor about the internal controls and the scope of audit, including its observation. Audit committee is having power to question the auditor about what is checked on the internal control system, and audit committee can ask the comments from the auditor also. And next bullet point, before submission of the report to the board, the audit committee has the power to review the financial statement. Yes, before audit report is prepared or submitted, this audit committee is having power to review the financial statement. Power to discuss any issues with statutory and internal auditor and the management of the company in relation to the matter contained in the financial statement. All these things are general point. You please go through yourself. Important actually. Audit committee is also important. I am coming to the self-examination question now. Self-examination question. Come to page number 23. True or false? What is the first question? In case of government company, auditor is appointed by CAG within 182 days from the commencement of financial year. Within 182 days or 180 days. In case of government company, the auditor is appointed by CAG within 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year. So it is false. Correct or not? You please check once again. Wait 1 minute, I will check. So 180 days, right? Yes, it is 180 days, not 182 days. Okay, come to the next. True or false? What is the next question? Yeah, cooling period of individual auditor is 2 consecutive term of 5 years. Cooling period is normally how many years? 1 consecutive term of 5 years, not 2 consecutive term of 5 years. 2 consecutive term of 5 years means 5 years plus 5 years equal to 10 years. But cooling period is for both the individual and partnership firm is 5 years only. So this is also false. Okay. What is the next question? The first auditor appointed shall hold office till the conclusion of first AGM. True. We know already, we discussed. Point number 4. Government company means a company where 21% shares held by the central government or state government or partly by the central government or state government. 21% or 51%? I think it is 51%, not 21%. You please check. Okay. So it is false. A body corporate can become auditor of the company. So no, body corporate cannot be appointed. Only partnership firm, individual, LLP can be appointed as an auditor of the company. So it is false. Point number 6. The auditor shall have access at all times books of account and vouchers of the company. Yes. All the times he is having access. Correct. He can access. All the times means business time only. Not midnight 12 o'clock he can't go and check the documents. Okay. Normally it is during the business hours. Point number 7. An auditor of a company can render investment banking service under section 144. There are some services which is prohibited. Auditor cannot provide those services. One of the services is investment banking services. Since it is false, auditor cannot provide investment banking service for the same company. Okay. Point number 8. The auditor report shall be signed only by the person appointed as an auditor of the company. True. A person who is appointed as an auditor, he has to only sign. True. Point number 9. All notices of the general meeting shall be forwarded to the auditor of the company. True only. Anything related to general meeting, auditor should be shared actually. Yeah, we have to share anything because he is having power, he is having duty. It's duty to attend the general meeting. Okay. Point number 10. An audit committee shall have minimum 5 directors or 3 directors. It is 3 directors. Hence it is false. Okay. Fill in the blanks. Come to the fill in the blanks. An audit committee shall have how many directors? Minimum 3 directors. What is the next thing? Audit committee formation is mandatory for public company having how much paid up capital? 10 crore rupees or more paid up capital. Cost audit is mandatory only when specific order is issued by whom? Central government. Okay. We will discuss. This is not related to this topic. We have a separate topic for cost audit. There we will discuss cost audit, detailed thing for cost audit. Cost audit report is submitted to central government within how many days? Cost audit report is submitted to central government within I think it is 180 days. Cost audit report is submitted to the central government within. We will understand. You leave that 1 mark as of now. We will understand during our next class. Okay, because you have a separate topic for cost audit. There I will discuss with you what is cost audit, what is the timeline, what is the procedures, and everything we will discuss. What is the next point? Point number 5. First auditor is appointed by the board of directors of the company within how many days? 30 days. We discussed in previous class. Cost audit is conducted by practicing cost accountant. That also we will discuss in next class. Who can do cost audit, everything. Then cost accountant in practice. Okay, that is the answer. Point number 7, sorry, question number 7. Any fraud to involve on of amount of more than 1 crore rupees should be reported to central government. 1 crore or more should be reported to central government. Point number 8, the auditor shall have a right to be heard at the general meeting. Auditor report should be heard at the general meeting. So point number 9, punishment for contravention of section 139 is minimum 25,000, maximum it is depends, 25 lakhs, 25 lakhs depends. Okay. Auditor of government company is appointed by whom? Controller and Auditor General of India, CAGI, government statutory body. CAGI is a statutory body, they only eligible for appointing the government auditor. What is the next thing? Match the following. Come to the match the following, next page, page number 24. So maximum term of firm as an auditor, how many term? If an individual, how many years we can appoint? Only one consecutive of term of 5 years. But in case of firm, 2 consecutive term of 5 years. 5 plus 5, 10 years we can appoint. So the thing is 2 consecutive term of 5 years. Answer is A only. I think wrongly they have given as E. As auditor, maximum term of firm as auditor is A only, not E actually. A only. Okay. Then what is the next one? Minimum fees for contravention of section 139. 25,000 rupees. That's what we studied. Correct? That is the answer. Maximum fees of contravention of section 139. It is 5 lakh rupees. That's what we studied already. So 5 lakh. Independent directors. Audit committee shall be linked. Yes, audit committee. Because audit committee 3 directors, out of 3 directors, minimum 3 directors, majority should be independent directors. So out of 3, minimum 2 should be independent directors. If there is a 5 directors in the committee, means how many independent directors should be required? 5 directors, majority is how much? Minimum 3 independent directors required. So what is the next thing? 5th point, first auditor of appointment is done by board of directors. Point B. Okay. 6, audit remuneration is to be fixed at general meeting. That is the answer. Government company means CAGA, yeah. Company which is a subsidiary of government company is also a government company only. Company which is a subsidiary of government company is also a government company. That is the answer. Maximum term of individual auditor, 1 term of 5 years. That is the correct answer. 1 term of 5 years. They have wrongly given the answer. You please correct it. Maximum term of individual auditor is 1 term of 5 years. So 9th is resolution for removal of auditor before expiry of term. If I am removing an auditor, what are the thing I require? Special resolution plus central government approval. Prior central government approval, special resolution is required. What is given here? What is given here? Special resolution. That is the answer. Then section 10, question number 10, signing of audit report. That is section 145 of the Companies Act deals with the signing of audit report. Okay. You please remember all these things. Then multiple choice question. Come to the multiple choice question. First auditor of the company is appointed by within board of director within 30 days. That is the answer. Cost audit is covered under section, I think it is 148. Okay, we will discuss in next class. About cost audit we will discuss in next class. Second audit is covered under section 204. That also we will discuss in next class. Next thing is appointment of auditor for government company is done by CAG, Controller Auditor General of India. That is the general thing. Then when conducting audit, while conducting audit of financial, auditor needs to comply with the cost audit standard, secretarial audit standard, auditing standard. Cost audit standard is for cost audit, secretarial standard for secretarial audit. Auditing standard is for audit under section 139. Okay, so auditing standard they have to follow. So answer is C. So I think with this 7.1 is over. In our next class we will discuss the 7.2, that is cost audit and secretarial audit. All of you please download this material and go through our discussion and start preparing for examination. Don't wait for end of the examination, or during. Don't postpone your preparation. Start from now onwards. So in our next class we will discuss the 7.2. Okay, thank you.